Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Truth Sound. Today, today we're gonna talk that in the AFC South. That's the Houston Texans, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Indianapolis Colts, and
Jacksonville Jaguars,
I
Tennessee
said that
Titans.
Tennessee Titans. There you go,
Woo!
Tennessee Titans. Who we gonna start talking about first?
We hope
Off moves and such.
we hope that you are more excited about it than we are because this division blows. But let's get it started. Let's talk about the Houston Texans without Deshaun Watson.
They didn't have his ass last year. He was laid up in the massage parlors. 60 something massages later. We don't know how many of those finished in happy endings, of course, but I'm
Needless
sure
to
there were a
say, it
few.
wasn't a happy ending for Deshaun Watson in Houston.
Yeah, so I mean, we got our guy here, right? We got him already. Davis
Davis
Mills.
Mills. And I
Davis
want you
Mills is
guys to
fine
go. I
for
want you guys to go way, way, way back to our quarterback draft special last year, and you will see. I was just like, man, keep an eye on Davis Mills. He's in a good situation. He was the #1 recruit coming out of high school. Davis Mills might be the best quarterback of last year's class. Might be.
Oof, maybe. Who knows? They continue to get weapons around this guy. They're giving him another shot this year. Let's make it happen, dog.
Yeah, let's talk about some of those weapons that he's getting. I mean, we kind of go backwards with this here, but just some of their draft picks they got. They got Damian Pierce, running back out of Florida. He was taken 107th overall. Texans have a lot of able bodies in their backfield, and I mean, it's almost become a running joke at this point with Rex Burkhead and Marlon Mack now signed. I feel like all three are going to kind of compete for touches, but 8 out of 10, give me that younger guy in the backfield.
Didn't they sign Frank Gore as well?
No, that was the 49ers just for one day, though. They don't want him no more. I'll say this, man. Like, I agree with you. Damian Pierce he's got to be the running back to own in this offense if you must do something like that. But, man, I am rooting for Marlon Mack. Man, that guy's been trying to get on the field the last couple of years. I hope he gets shot. I hope he gets a little bit of volume at least. I don't think he's rosterable though, other than a extremely deep league dart throw.
Damian Pierce, Rex Burkhead, Marlon Mack. Who would you roster? Who's the guy for you?
Pierce. He's the only guy for me.
Okay. Yeah, same here. Give me that young guy, like one of you guys said. I don't remember which one, but
I will say this. I will pick up Rex Burkhead for 1 week off the waiver wire this year because he's going to get like 4 touchdowns that one game. But just that one game. Don't draft him.
Which one?
You'll know it when it hits. You'll know.
Oh, fuck.
It's like everybody will be like, go get Rex Burkhead. It's Burkhead season.
I will come on this podcast and I will pre-predict that game. How about that?
Okay.
Let's go. Let's do it. Sunday
Once you
morning.
pre-predict that game, I'll come on this podcast. Let's go.
Come all over this platform.
I'm just going to say, I've done it the last 2 years. I've projected the Rex Burkhead week, and every year it happens. It's like clockwork, baby.
Burkhead week. Yeah. That's going to be my team name this season, Burkhead week.
Yeah, it is. Let's talk some more weapons. Let's talk some Roll Tide here. John Mechie. The third, the fourth.
They didn't get it right the first 2 times.
The third time is a charm. You know what I'm saying? This guy is already diving for the pylon. I'm telling you right now. We got Nico Collins second year coming in.
We got Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cooks. We can't forget Cooks.
It was so beautiful that you actually forgot Brandon Cooks, which is such a perfect microcosm of his entire fucking career. Oh yeah, Brandon Cooks. Every year at draft, I'm like, oh, it's the 5th round, Brandon Cooks.
Oh yeah, he'll slide on down that ADP every fucking year, and every year I'll grab him. Let's go. But John Mechie, yeah, this guy is he's electric with the ball in his hands, and he gets open. From what I've watched, he's getting open, and spin moves. He's breaking ankles with the ball in his hands. I keep saying with the ball in his hands because this kid's electric. I got him 44th overall, and
he's no good without the ball in his hands, though.
Roll Tide, though. Roll Tide. I don't care.
Roll
Give this
Tide.
guy 70 targets. Let's get 70 targets. All we need to see from a rookie and a second-year quarterback is a little flash. That's all I need to see, and I believe we will see it. So I'm excited about that.
And I think you'll see some of that flash, but as excited as I am for Mechie and Pierce and Brandon Cooks, right? I think it was the higher end moves of this draft class that really is going to move the needle for the Texans. As per usual, once a show, I bring up a draft prospect that I was hoping fell to the Dallas Cowboys and didn't. So this week's edition is Kenyon Green out of Texas A&M. I think he's going to be a good person to plug in there to help protect Davis Mills, super versatile, and I think he's a future left tackle in this league.
Okay, yeah, they need it because they ain't got that.
Yeah, they do. They need everything. And then you want to talk about Derek Stingley? That's the splashiest of splash they splashed this offseason.
Yeah, 3rd overall.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He this was a team that needed players all over the field, on every level of the field. I'm kind of in love with the idea of Lovie Smith being able to run this team. Having Derek Stingley Jr. back there, you kind of see what he could do when he was in Chicago those years and what he got out of those corners and safeties during his time in Chicago. If they give Lovie Smith a couple of years and he's able to develop some of these players, I'm excited for some of these prospects to come. Going back to on John Mechie real quick though, I feel like he's just a slightly kind of like that Hunter Renfrow for the team, right? Like I feel like he could be that kind of guy for this team. So maybe in a year or two you see him kind of take that forward. Maybe he's like one of those players that kind of surprise you in a couple of years and he's just a top 10 wide receiver out of nowhere.
For no reason. Yeah.
For no reason.
Yep. Absolutely agree. Anyway, I'm done talking about the Texans. Also, they fleeced the Browns and got a bunch of draft picks for somebody who may never play again. Anyway, Tennessee Titans. Let's move on. They made a little bit of noise this offseason for all the fucking wrong reasons on draft day. Tell me about him, Travis Sumter.
Oh my God, where do I begin? So
let's begin with AJ Brown. I think that's the obvious one.
That was the happiest day of your brother's life.
Yes. Absolutely fucking horrendous, terrible, worst fucking trade, lopsided thing I've ever goddamn seen for a team is the fucking trade Tennessee Titans. The Titans made for basically swapping out and getting the pick Treylon Burks at 18. It was absolutely horrendous. I'm excited to see what AJ Brown does in Philly. I know you're not, Jordan.
I'm not at fucking all. The Eagles fleeced them, and that move alone single-handedly put the Eagles in the driver's seat in that division. Like, it was just ridiculous. Well, we ain't here to talk about them Eagles. I already had to do that. Tell me about Treylon. Oh, wait, hold on. Let's wait. He's got to catch up because he's on an asthma break. Okay, he's back. Let's talk about Treylon Burks. By the way, the title of today's episode is because this division sucks that bad.
Yeah, so one of the things out of camp was his conditioning and his asthma. Did we see that as a big red flag? I mean, that's not a good fucking sign coming in. Coming into OTAs, usually when you're coming out of the combine, you're in the best damn shape of your goddamn life. I don't know. To me, I see that as a big red flag.
Yeah, a huge red flag. I just thought this was a horrendous draft pick. I don't know. I don't know what the hell the Titans were thinking. I guess don't pay that man, but you could have probably got something better than old Treylon Burks out of the University of Arkansas. How do you feel about bringing in Robert Woods, though, from the Rams, obviously coming off the injury, but we've seen Robert Woods be a really good wide receiver in this league for a while.
Yeah, we have not seen him come off of an injury of this magnitude, and it's concerning. I know that the way that medical treatments are going nowadays, people are coming back from ACLs left and right, man. But conditioning is going to be an issue for him too. At least at the beginning, is he's going to miss around 4 weeks. What is so fucking funny?
Just with you bringing up his conditioning, all I can think about is like, man, I really want to see him and Treylon Burks do like a potato sack race, fucking 20 yards.
Yeah. So anyway, I think Robert Woods is end up, even after missing first month of the season, he might be their number one for the year. This is a guy that was very consistent with the Rams. 2 years after he got there, I believe. So he became a guy that we were comparing, like, who are we going to draft, Robert Woods or Cooper Kupp? And now he is a Tennessee.
Robert Woods or who?
Cooper Kupp. Wait. Sorry, I forgot all of that for a minute. Cooper Kupp. Yeah, so even after missing a month of the season in the beginning, I think he's going to end up being their number one guy here in Tennessee. Again, I'm not going to draft him, though. Somebody will probably get a good value. I don't know where he's going right now, but it can't be high. Look out for Nick Westbrook-Akine. Got flashed a little bit last year. It says Westbrook. I just realized that. I don't know if that was on purpose.
I will only spell that name one way.
Okay, it was on purpose. Cool. All right, let's go. But yeah, I'm kind of really, I don't know. I'm not excited about this offense. Derrick Henry, I guess.
Of course.
That's.
I legitimately think this team went from actual Super Bowl contender to, I'm not sure if this is a playoff team in this season.
And when you got a coach like they do, though, there's always a chance, especially at the end of games. I don't care if it's a 9-6 game. They're going to have
definitely the division where they could win 5 games by doing nothing. So I don't know. I think they took a total step back. And I mean, I don't know. You got to start to think, do they have questions about Ryan Tannehill themselves, bringing in Malik Willis? Obviously not Ryan Tannehill's goddamn job to teach him anything, if you ask him at least. But I don't know, man. I think there's trouble brewing in Tennessee.
Well, maybe so. But you got to think of it, man, from an NFL perspective. When they're drafting teams, they're not always drafting for what's going to happen right now. I mean, Malik Willis, he was 86th overall pick, and he's coming in to back up a guy that's basically got 2 years left on his contract, and I think he plays out the season, and maybe do something after that with him. I don't necessarily see it as a fallout or trouble brewing or anything like that. The only comment that spells that was "I'm not here to teach some kid." Basically, is what he said. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Not my damn job.
Not my job. It's your motherfucking job. But
I mean, to me, it feels like this is Ryan Tannehill's job for this year. After that, I think anything else is in the air, whether it's a trade or maybe they just cut him outright. I'm not really sure what his second year holds for as far as money goes, but this year he's the highest QB in the NFL. So that's one of the reasons why they couldn't really move off of him this year. They would almost had to send draft picks just to get rid of the contract.
Maybe Ryan Tannehill shows out. He turns his wide receiver legs back on and shows out this year, and they extend him. Who knows? But he's got the wheels to do it, and he's been a very, very efficient quarterback passing down the field with the weapons he has had. Just because Treylon Burks has some asthma issues doesn't necessarily mean anything. We do hear shit like this out of early season shit all the time. And like last year, we were talking about Jamar Chase not being able to catch a ball because it ain't got white stripes on it. Some of this stuff is silly. This is a medical issue, however, but like you never know, man. They pump this guy with some albuterol treatments, before the game. He can go out there and run up and down the field 4 to 5 times.
Stephania Bell, eat your heart out.
Ooh! I eat that old lady hard out. Tweet that to her.
So I mean, like obviously this whole offense, this whole team,
a whole lot.
This whole team revolves around Derrick Henry and his ability to be healthy and run the rock. I feel like that also plays in a big role of Ryan Tannehill, taking the pressure off of him. Is like being able to run that ball 25 times a game, and I mean it's great for the team, right?
I don't know what you're saying. Yeah, that's huge for this team. But let's move on to the Jaguars or the Colts. Which one we can talk about?
This turned out to be a way better episode than I thought it was going to be. Let's talk about the Indianapolis Colts, front runners for the division, in my opinion. Bringing in old man Matt Ryan to replace Carson Wentz. We went from Luck to Brissett to Rivers to whoever I just said, to Matt Ryan, to Carson Wentz, to Matt Ryan. It's just the revolving door of quarterbacks. Talk to me about him, Mr. Sumter.
6 quarterback in 6 years. That's what we're looking at here. Probably the best quarterback.
Wow.
And you know what? in 6 years ago, in a dynasty draft, you had drafted Andrew Luck #1 overall as your quarterback, and you passed on Tom Brady. You done fucked up.
You fucked up. Yeah, you did.
Literally back 3 years ago, I was in the middle of a draft, and the guy selected Andrew Luck, and he selected what was his name out of? He drafted another running back, but tore his ACL, and Luck retired on the same day. So really shitty situation for him.
Draft.
I remember that
during the
thing.
draft
that literally happened. Everybody was drafted. It's like, what the fuck? I just drafted this guy and he retired?
Dude, it was literally the fucking Saturday before Saturday before the fucking season started. It was crazy.
Okay,
yeah,
I love Andrew Luck.
Boy. But yeah, let's talk about this quarterback situation. Is he or is he not an upgrade from Carson Wentz? Because I do believe he is.
I say hell yes, definitively. I think he's the best quarterback they've had in this stretch, personally.
Including
best one they've had since Luck.
Yeah.
Include Luck.
Fuck you.
How many MVPs did Andrew Luck win? How many MVPs did Andrew Luck win? Matt Ryan won one. I'm just saying, don't sleep on Matty Ice, dude. We're talking about a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback here, not Andrew. I played 6 years of Bowles Luck. We're not talking about Ryan.
We're not talking about a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback. We're talking about one that's going to make it in, sure. But I'm not going to say he's the caliber, man. He's just been kind of solid his entire career.
Won an MVP, went to a Super Bowl. What else could you ask for this guy? Top 10 all time in passing yards.
You could ask for him to have the best fucking wide receiver core of any quarterback that's ever went through this league throughout his entire career.
I think that's a little bit of a stretch. Julio and Ronnie, they were the shit. I ain't gonna lie. I'll give it to you. But lots of guys have great wide receiver duos that don't get it done. Anyway, we could talk about Matthew Ryan being an elite quarterback another day. I just think he's a really good quarterback for this offense. I think he moves the needle. I think he's perfect for this team. I think he's going to make my man Michael Pittman Jr. ball out this season. I really love what the Colts have going on, and I think they're the only team anywhere close to contention in this division.
Absolutely. They're the front runners, in my opinion. Jonathan Taylor 1.01. Mark it down. That's where he's going. That's where he's going to go. I think that's literally everyone. offensive line issues last year, he was still fucking running the thing, man. And I just hope that Matt Ryan can at least dump off enough to him. This is the best running back he's ever had too. So, and possibly the best offensive line when healthy.
I think this is the best offense he's ever had, arguably, especially if they can figure out that wide receiver 2 spot. Maybe a guy like Alec Pierce stepping into that role. I think Pittman's really good. I think overall, just with JT, that it puts him in an elite category that I don't think he's really had a lot of.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, too, I would definitely say it's the best team he's had since his Super Bowl run.
Yeah.
Because JT, and then you want to include Nyheim Hines. You know, it's kind of like that Freeman, Tevin Coleman back in the day when they made Super Bowl run during his year. Pittman, somebody that a lot of people have in the top 15. Also, a guy they drafted was Alec Pierce. They drafted him out of Cincinnati. He was 53rd overall. In camp, he's been a big red zone threat. That's what they've been using him a lot as. I look for this team to pass more in the red zone this year, kind of take that off a little bit more. But yeah, I feel like he should compete at number 2 spot alongside Michael Pittman, and then you'll still what's his name out there?
Paris Campbell.
Yeah, he's still there.
He's toast.
I was gonna bust out a Paris Campbell factoid here in a minute.
God, please do, because I need to hear it.
You go ahead.
Just like Rex Burkhead, you can dial it up, man. Draft Paris Campbell in your draft. Take a flyer, start at week 1, cut him. You'll get wide receiver 2 production out of him at least for that 1 week, and then cut him. That's probably what the Colts should do, to be honest.
Cut him. I've kind of always had a hard on for this guy, man, and shit just has gone wrong, man. Like, he's never had that chance to really have his breakout year. Maybe this is it, dude. Who knows? I think by now I'm gonna label.
He doesn't have breakout years. He has breakdown years. And it's probably what he's going to do again this year. But yeah, kid's got loads of talent.
Where do you see Mo Alley Cox in the pecking order?
So
you said
as of right now, I have Cox.
How many?
Cox. He's the tight end 1 in this.
Where is he in your pecking order?
Oh, fuck, he's probably in the 20s or lower. I don't know. There's so many targets for competition. But he's the tight end 1 in this offense. He's number 1 tight end in this offense right now. They did draft Jelani Woods out of Virginia, 73rd overall. He was somebody that had a very impressive combine, someone that PFF graded out as a perfect combine score at 100, which is like there's only been like 10 players in the history of the NFL to like draft out at a perfect combine number. So like I look forward to seeing what he brings in the future. Maybe not unless something happens with me. I'm kind of big in the, between the 20s, maybe the red zone. Maybe we kind of, see some movement from him. He could be, a rookie tight end that could come out of nowhere with just his athleticism alone. I mean, that's all I really got on that.
I think that's all we got on the Colts.
I would just like to say that if I were Mo Alley Cox, I would sign my, checks and stuff, M.A. Cox or McCox. Anyway, we can move on to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, I would too. The Jacksonville Jaguars.
Number 1 overall having ass Jacksonville Jaguars.
Trevor Lawrence did not show me anything last year. I see pocket movement that I love. I love the way he moves in the pocket. Yes, but let's start this whole thing over because we got to talk about head coaching changes here first.
So I want to say this. I want to say this about Trevor Lawrence. I want to start with this, right? I cannot remember a quarterback who was thrown into a worse situation to start his NFL career than Trevor Lawrence. And that includes Davis Mills. Like, there is fucking nothing. There was nothing in Jacksonville going for them the moment that ETN went down last season, right? That was supposed to be the big deal. You got Lawrence and ETN coming in from college. But I mean, their wide receiver one.
We were
Can't even
They're all
expecting
wide receiver
Marvin Jones.
threes.
Marvin Jones. Yeah, Marvin Jones, who's a really respectable wide receiver 3. Don't get me wrong. But come on, dude. He had nothing to work with. So just going to defend my boy T-Law a little bit.
Yeah, it was DJ Chark, Marvin Jones, and what's the little kid, the little
So one
guy's name?
Lions former number 2 receiver, the Lions future number 2 wide receiver, and who else? Oh, Laviska Shenault, who might not even be on that roster this year. The cupboard is bare, dog.
Yeah, so I kind of had high hopes for Laviska Shenault too, man. He's a guy that I can see a comparison, little smaller version, but we were talking John Mechie earlier. He kind of reminds me of that guy with the ball in his hands, a little CD Lamb mixed in, right? But what this team did last year is they went out and traded a bunch of bullshit for a tight end that they fed targets to like crazy for 4 or 5 straight weeks, and realized that Dan Arnold isn't anything special. This year they bringing in Evan Ingram. He's shown flashes. He spent half a season as a tight end 1 at the Giants, breaking away long ass touchdowns, running 2017 miles an hour, 22, 23 miles an hour on that sideline play. I don't
Pulling his
remember.
hamstring when he did it.
Yeah. So he's been injury prone, but this team he's added a lot of speed, really. And we're getting. Hopefully, we'll get a solid Travis Etienne come back off his injury. We didn't get to see him play on an NFL field yesteryear, but I think there's some things here to be positive about.
Do you? Because I think
do.
this wide receiver core may be fucking worse. Are you kidding me? Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, and Evan Ingram? You got a potential generational talent in fucking Trevor Lawrence, and the best you can give him is Christian Kirk on a market-breaking contract at that. Completely fucking broke the NFL with that stupid-ass contract. And then you bring in Zay Jones, who I was surprised to see still played in the NFL last year when I saw him in Las Vegas. Not going to lie. I thought that dude was long gone. What the fuck are the Jaguars doing? This is a shit show.
And they kind of gave Zay Jones the bag a little bit, didn't they?
Yes.
They gave him
Did they have any left after fucking Christian Kirk robbed him blind? Did they have anything left? Shit.
Yeah,
that's why the receivers are getting paid so high now.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is the Jaguars looked at the Titans wide receiver miscues this offseason and said, hold my fucking beer. This is awful.
Hey, I'm going to say this. I feel better about my wide receiver core in Chicago than I feel about the Jacksonville Jaguars wide receiver core.
I will agree with you just because you have Darnell Mooney, but if that guy goes down, then no, that's the worst wide receiver core of all fucking time. I could start for that team.
I still want him and Kmet over Kirk and Ingram any day of the week.
Yeah, fair. However, what I'm saying are these guys got speeds. The NFL is changing. It's going to a empty, base sets are fucking 3 wide receivers at minimum. And then, they got this coming, the NFL is continuing to evolve all the time. And it's changed over the past 15 years. We've watched it happen. It's going to continue to do that. And what they're doing here is they're trying to equip Trevor Lawrence with weapons that can run in space. And really sometimes that's all you need in this style of offense. Speed kills, dog. It does. And you can have a bunch of non-factors that are just fast and one-dimensional. But you put them all together, dude. I mean, I just kind of want to see it. And Trevor Lawrence is... I keep wanting to say I didn't see anything from him last year, but I saw the mechanics of a professional fucking quarterback. I just saw him under duress all the time, and running for his life and no one to throw to, no one's open. So, um,
And here's what I'm gonna go and we still haven't even talked about they had the number one overall fucking pick. We haven't even mentioned that yet, right? They had multiple first round picks. Haven't mentioned that, right? They've got this potential generational talent, and they are absolutely failing to build anything around him. Like I don't know, man. You cannot sell me on this offense. Like you could bring in Devontae Parker and it would be an upgrade over what they have now. That's how strongly I feel about this shit show at Jacksonville. But at least they're making some decent moves on the defensive side of the ball. I'll give them that. They rode that all the way to an AFC championship appearance a couple of years back, and they've shown propensity to draft good on that defensive side of the ball. But, man, they need to give T-Law some help.
yeah, for sure. But
I'm kind of like mixed feelings because I feel like Trevor Lawrence is the right quarterback at the wrong place at the wrong time.
absolutely.
And
He's David Carr.
I don't see how they really improve on the offensive side of the ball until after next year when maybe they get, one of those top elite wide receivers next year. Yeah, I mean, it's not really the greatest situation, but they are deep on those fast weapons like Joey was saying too. Like there is players all over that offensive side of the ball, like especially if you get James Robinson back eventually, if he can be like even half of what he was. I mean, we can see.
Basically drafted Travis Etienne to play fucking wide receiver anyway, so like you got to kind of count that in. They got a good running back in James Robinson,
who's injured, and we don't even know if he'll play this season.
Fair, but like there's a certain level of I kind of understand what was happening a little bit. Because everyone knows it's going to take more than a year, more than 2 years, more than 3
I just
years.
want to know how you can have Christian Kirk as your wide receiver one and not draft a wide receiver.
When you have all the fucking holes that this team had already. They have a lot of draft picks. It's not like they.
I mean, they had 2 first. They had 2 in the third. They had some draft capital, man. And I get it. Again, I'm not hating on building the defensive side of the ball, but they could have had somebody at the wide receiver position with one of those picks that I think could have made Trevor's life a whole hell of a lot easier, right? In round 3, they got a linebacker out of Wyoming, and they got Snoop Connor, who's a running back out of Ole Miss, right? You don't need the running back. Go fucking get a wide receiver for this guy. Anybody.
You need a running back if there is concerns with, James Robinson health and Travis Etienne coming off
health.
So sometimes, man, what makes sense for fantasy football isn't always what makes sense for an NFL squad. And I think this might be one of those situations because it really, this team is decimated with injuries last year and no one on it, really.
They were decimated with injuries. I don't think they've done enough to improve in any. I look at a team like the Miami Dolphins, right? They went out, they got Jalen Waddle. They went out, they traded for Tyreek Hill. Like, they gave Tua some fucking weapons, right?
Yeah.
And at the end of this year, there's going to be no doubt if Tua's the guy or not. None, right?
Yeah.
T-Law, I'm not going to know who he is after this year. I think that David Carr comp is good because David Carr, for the kids out there that don't remember, he's Derek's older brother who was probably a better quarterback. Dude was really good, got sacked 5,000 times a season, and played for the absolute worst football team ever with those Houston Texans.
They were a
expansion team.
Yeah, they drafted him number 1 out of Utah or whatever it was.
No, that was Alex Smith. He was out of Fresno State.
That's right. Yeah. So, but I mean, sometimes, we know Trevor Lawrence needs some more weapons. Sometimes a young quarterback doesn't need young wide receivers either. These guys got some years under their belt, so.
Go get a veteran that's not Zay Jones. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, the guys
fair.
they brought in were awful.
I get it, and they
Awful.
paid way too much money for all of these guys.
They
But
could have traded a 4th-round pick for Amari Cooper. Instead, they went out and signed Christian Kirk to the largest contract of any wide receiver at the time and completely broke the market. Like, there were moves they could have made that would have been better. You can't change my mind on this one.
I'm not trying to, because I agree. I do want to close this out by saying, mark that little bell that's right down there. Mark it to where
Finger
it's
on it,
solid
touch it.
for you. Because
Do a little wiggle.
next week we are coming back with the NFC West. We're going to break down all of their offseason moves, our opinions, what we think is going to happen. You got anything else for the?
Yeah, and then after that, I'm just going to jump ahead 2 weeks. We're going to wrap this whole series up with the AFC West. And anybody that's watching this show already knows that episode's going to be bananas. That division has been fucking insane all offseason. I'm really looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I'm going to jump ahead 3 weeks, and we're going to start talking about these running back rankings. So let's go.
Well, I'm going to jump ahead like 8 weeks and come catch my ass at the expo. Me and Travis Sumter will be there. I'm super excited about that as well.
I'm going to skip ahead like 90 days, and I'm going to see y'all motherfuckers on Sunday morning for some Start Sit Live.
I love it. All right, you want to take us out, baby?
As always.
Stay Jude.
Hey, wait. We got to thank our Patreons. We love you guys. Thank you.
Love you.
Thank you. And
we should start doing that at the beginning of the episode somewhere.
We do need to. But love y'all as always. Stay true.